It's feature week at Beer Me That Movie, which means we're going to be talking about borscht, duck breasts, and Harrison and I are both going to try our best Russian accent. You ready to go?
That's Vidania.
Welcome back to our 10th feature film at Beer Me That Movie. Harrison and I actually struggled a little bit deciding which one we were going to pick. So now tune in and buckle up to watch us struggle with this baby that we made.
As many people do with their babies. Totally cool. So as always, remember to subscribe, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you like listening to podcasts, we're there. And TikTok now too.
Yeah, we're everywhere at this point.
It's wild how many places you can be these days. But I think we're in all of them. We have stickers. It's time, John, to beer us a movie.
Rare Snack. It's about that holiday party you get invited to at your neighborhood, and everyone brings their own fancy version of deviled eggs.
What's the ambrosia salad from
honestly, I could almost go for some of that.
Yeah. Refreshing.
There's the sometimes a rare snack can be good, as we're about to find out. Maybe sometimes it's nefarious.
That's right. Too rare. Maybe the guy eating the apple the snake tells you to from the tree. Yeah, go on, kid. You don't know anything. You just got here.
We made one mistake. Isn't it Eve that ate the apple? I think we blame that on her.
Yeah, I don't know.
So when we ran through last week's Fast Five, we narrowed it down to kind of two movies about partying, I guess, a little bit.
True.
And Rare Snack came up, and Harrison had some good ideas, and then continued evaluating them as we were talking about the movie, which helped us select that one. If you remember, it wasn't very easy, but the basic framework of this movie is that it was about a guy, and I think I said the management gives him weird snacks. Right. And then I think we agreed that somehow AI is involved.
Yeah, well, right, something happens. I mean, we kind of this was a Rare Snack, took a little bit to develop. As all rare things that are worth it do.
What makes it rare?
Right. What makes it rare?
Just because you put olives in your deviled eggs, that makes it good.
An upside down pizza is just the pizza. It's just a pizza. It's not that exciting. This company, this nameless, faceless company, was doing something nefarious with its employees. They were disappearing. And we had a couple iterations of like, what are they doing? And it kind of landed on experimenting, I think, on these people with something. And we threw a couple ideas out there. So we're going to land on one of those things right now and weave in some snacks and some adventure, some laughs, maybe some sweet makeout scenes. We'll see what happens.
Love it. As a random aside, the movie Howard the Duck.
Very random.
Much different than what we're about to lay out. But Howard the Duck, there was a brief scene where Howard's flying through his apartment in Duck Earth, and there was a duck woman that had, as all breasts are, a beautiful set of duck breasts. And I think one thing that was rarely addressed is ducks don't naturally have breasts, so how did they get there? And the reason I take that aside is I hope that by the time you're done eating this rare snack with us, we don't leave you with a duck breast situation. Right? We're trying to answer those questions. And in my favorite opening question that I asked Harrison, every movie has a protagonist. Sometimes it is time. Most of the time for us person. So, Harrison, can you do me a favor and help just establish, scene one? Who are we looking at? What's the situation we're landing in here to open this movie?
Yes. I think all ducks have breasts. They just are like a cut of, like a breast meat.
Do ducks? Oh, yeah, like a chicken. Like ducks, like baby ducks are like...
You're right.
Give me the teeth.
Right. Completely different. They come from an egg. It's yeah, you're right. Why does a non-mammal have breasts in a movie?
I'll tell you why. They look better.
Right, there you go. That's it. George Lucas is known for his decision making. Because I want it. All right, George, don't sue me. Okay, so let's talk
Might
about.
be the last episode.
It'd be great if you found us for a minute and then we're gone. Okay, so religious that man. Let's talk about this rare snack though. Let's talk about what's going on in the Beer Me That Movie universe. So yeah, so I think what's kind of become a soft tradition here is that the person who checked in the beer gets to be the inspiration for the protagonist. So this comes from Erik. Thank you, Erik, for checking in. Rare snack from Abomination. So makers of many great beers. I think his check-in had something along the lines of like there's a lot going on in this stout, right? Is that what it was?
Something I very commonly say. It
Right.
was rare snack for Abomination is a very adjunct heavy stout. I think it
Right.
brings in at 16%. And anything you could imagine putting in a stout, I believe
there.
was in here.
Amazing. So Erik powered through, and now we have this this to be determined movie. But Erik, because of your dedication to powering through that rare snack, you get to be the, we'll say hero, but we use that term loosely because who knows here. And so what I'm kind of imagining is we always do, we'll paint with a broad brush to start, and then we'll fill in all the details and have some fun with it. But essentially, I'm seeing Erik is kind of a new hire at a big old company. We can figure the name out in a minute. John's good.
I'm excited for that part.
And yeah, like he's kind of taking a job to take a job. This takes place in the present. I know we've done a lot of movies in the 80s, the 90s. Have we done the future yet? I don't know. Different realities with Windows 8 Daydream. It takes place now, we'll just say. It's going to be happening today in some small town somewhere. And yeah, it takes a job to have a job, kind of until it's becoming his oldest time where he went to school for something else. Let's say he wanted to be a veterinarian and didn't work out, or purposefully left. Maybe he felt like it just wasn't the path he was actually supposed to be on, but needs work, needs to live. So it comes back to his hometown and kind of takes a job at the big, cool tech company.
Beautiful.
You know, doing call center type stuff, and right quickly learns through his run-in with a happily offered office snack that the company is not what it seems. Wakes up at some underground bunker type thing and starts to investigate what the heck happened to him. What is this company actually doing? What's happened to this lovely little town I call home? And we'll have to follow Erik along and figure out what he knows as he assembles his band of misfits together to defeat it and fix the problem. And
so it's like the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of.
IX. That's
But
all I know. That's not the only
toss me.
That's a good one.
So Erik, our protagonist, not necessarily down on his luck, probably experiencing what a lot of us
right.
Shortly after college.
Exactly.
You know, you
like,
went
what
from
the hell do I do?
everything being almost literally fed to you
right.
to your first bit of freedom where you really just got drunk all the time, played Xbox. And then eventually, hopefully that ended through some way.
Right.
And, well, not the drunken Xbox, but like eventually you had to start paying bills.
Right.
And so Erik, like so many others, was like, well, I can't get a job being a vet.
Right.
I don't even know if I really want to do that.
Right.
He's in this city away from home. So where do you go after college? Like most of us, we go back home. Mom's like, you can't just stay here and
right.
live carefree.
Right.
Wish I could think of like the mom expression, but she's kind, but she's like, I'm not gonna put you out here.
I like that.
You need to get a job. You're a grown man now. Start acting like
right.
So he's like,
yes. All right. I like this.
I really love animals, specifically dogs, but the only place that's hiring in town is that company.
Yes.
And I know I want their initials to be BDE. A long time ago, I shot a promo video for a company that was trying to get started, and their initials were BD. And
Popular.
you might be thinking, I know what you're thinking. Yep. But no, it'll be it's a tech company, so it'll be like brain dynamic energy.
Okay.
Brain dynamic energies.
Okay, I like that.
And so he sees their ad. They're always hiring, like so many tech companies.
Right.
Call center.
Right.
You didn't go to school to be a programmer, Erik. So you're really just going to be
can't use your degree.
We need you to make 100 phone calls a day.
Yep.
Log them all into the CRM, then log them into a different one. Talk about how many calls you didn't make at the end of the day, and how many. That's the job he's signing up for.
Yeah.
But it's a big established company. They've been around. It feels like a grown-up job. You're kind of miserable.
Right.
After your shift, you start drinking beer. You're like, all right, this is it. I'm a grown-up now. But I get a paycheck every 2 weeks, and I've already spent that money, but the paycheck offsets my credit card bill.
Right.
I have a little bit for my college. So there's a life that Erik's getting into. The movie's called Rare Snack.
Yeah.
So Erik's in this company. Probably the new hire process is, reading mantras about why we're the greatest company and how we're changing lives all over the world.
Right. Of course.
Is a company that's been around a while.
Okay, I like that.
They're the unsung heroes that helped Microsoft connect their programs. They helped Xerox turn a light scanner into a carbon copy.
Right.
So BDE's the unsung hero. They've been around a while. They're a big company. They're very proud of themselves.
Okay.
And so Erik's going through his first couple of days, learning the ropes, meeting his team of new hires that are going to take the phones by storm here. How do the snacks come into play?
Yeah, I think that's just it could be as simple as, we're trying from a little bit of experience here, but that's all you can do.
No way related to any personal Harrison and I have lived through.
No. Maybe it's just like a perk of working in this cool tech job. And I think that's important to say too for Erik, that so he was on this path to be a vet, and maybe he left because he felt it felt old, it felt old fashioned, like he didn't see a future there, or maybe he was kind of enticed by tech companies, the tech world. It's exciting to be in technology right now.
They don't wear shoes in the office.
They have beanbags for chairs. Everyone has their own personal hammock, and they espresso machines, smoothie machines, and they get massages during their lunch break. All this stuff that seems exciting.
Honestly, massages during your lunch break, take the job too.
It's worth it. Just don't do it after you have a huge meatball sub. Or just be careful. But still,
it's mostly gas. I'm fine.
It's all natural. You're a doctor, right? What community college student?
Get the call center.
Oh, right. I don't have any license. Okay, but he's kind of thinks he's walking away from a life that was now boring to him and joining something cool and new and exciting, a grown-up job. They kind of coming to terms with his dad, who maybe had a career in the same company for 30 years. That's gone, but he wants something close to that himself. Be a part of some cool family. So he loves hearing all these talks from their goofy CEO, who's always get up on a soapbox and talking about how they're changing lives and changing the world, and those 100 phone calls you make each day, that's what's going to get it done, and hoorah. And everyone he's working with very bought into what the CEO is saying, so it's easy to be swept along in that. And so I think where the snacks come in, though, is every Friday management comes down and there's a new kind of cool rare snack, and maybe they do something where they do snacks from all over the world or from different businesses in town, or they kind of a time to get out of your comfort zone, but it's all paid for and it's exciting. And everyone in the office maybe seems a little oddly excited about just a snack that happens on a Friday, but they're definitely excited about it. And
Erik, me too.
Right. And Erik gets curious about why people are So excited for it. Basically sounds like he maybe get a hostess. He maybe gets a, like, what could a snack be?
Honestly, if you're a CEO watching this podcast and you're tired of your employees taking off on Fridays,
right.
do Snack Fridays,
Snack
because I
Fridays.
am already in on this.
Yeah, that's right. Get weird, get some hostess and some people, get some yodels out, get some whatever it is.
Don't do dumb stuff like Good and Plenty. I want there to be chocolate. I want there to be texture. Prefer some salt on there occasionally. You could do sweet and savory.
Yep, yeah. Yeah. So I think that's what happens as part of kind of week one. He's, going through the motions of having this new job and having to wear a tie and keep his shirt tucked in and all that horrible stuff. Maybe he doesn't. Tech company, no tie. And yeah, first Friday comes along and everyone's really excited and getting Erik excited about the snack. And he, it's which should the first snack be? It should be some empanadas or
I think empanadas will qualify for like empanadas. We're gonna try these out. They're from Spain,
I think so. Or
oops.
Sure.
Pierogies. They're from home.
We know that.
Pierogies. And because I've experienced this recently, they're going to have for dessert a variety of weird flavored Kit Kats from Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Japan, you crush Kit Kats.
This is fun.
None of them are as good as the original, but I'll still try your weird flavors. Green tea, Kit Kat.
One. It's a shrimp one, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wolf. That one.
That's the weird part. Like, right. Yeah, get out of your comfort zone. Enjoy
a shrimp Kit Kat. You never know. I mean, I think I can guess safely that might be for me, but I'll try anything once. Okay, so everything goes fine. Friday number one, and but again, I think the takeaway is it's kind of a weird vibe in here, and he feels like he's doing some initiation. Everyone's kind of patting him on the back and good, enjoy your Kit Kat, your Japanese Kit Kat. You're doing great, Erik. Happy you're here. Almost like they're celebrating something Erik doesn't know about, but everything goes fine. And it's week 2, and maybe we see him kind of starting to dawn on him a little bit that like making 100 phone calls a day, and he's balancing his, pencil on his tongue, and he's throwing erasers in the ceiling, and he's, maybe we're, coming to terms with the reality that he's chosen for himself, and
there's probably some weird rules.
Okay.
That would help him key in on this is first tech company.
You're right.
But like on Fridays when they do Snack Fridays, no one's allowed to leave for lunch. Like everybody has to.
Okay. Everyone right. I was gonna say it's like mandatory. You have to have the snack.
John's like, but I have diabetes. You're like, don't worry,
it'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Snacks are good for diabetes.
Because I had a bunch of Kit Kat bars. I was talking about. You don't know. You're not my doctor.
But and I mean, like some of it would be work, but like you have to send your report at the end of the day and stuff like that. But maybe there's just some like weird rules that he can't figure out. Like why is this a rule? Is this just part of tech companies? But
right.
And we don't have to elaborate on now. It's the beauty of this podcast.
Sure.
But in the movie, we'd have that kind of panned out where there's some signals that he's picking up on.
Right.
Where
and it could be like really weird, almost Truman Show-esque, where like he tries to leave out the front and 3 people out of nowhere are like, "Oh, Erik, tell us about your weekend plans. Let's go to the conference room." And then he tries to go out the back to go get some lunch because a Kit Kat isn't enough for a 22-year-old kid who's like hungry all the time still. And then someone scoops him up there, and they're like, "No, I need your help on this project. Come give me your insight. Really love having you here." And so, right, he's kind of like, "All right, whatever. This is where these people need friends. I need a life. This is what it's like when you turn 30. You just work all the time talking to people and excited. Gosh, this seems exhausting." But so he's not too resistant to them basically getting his way from leaving before the next Friday snack. And so this is the one, I think. He gets one safe one. They lure him in a little bit. And then snack number 2 happens, and they can be, what should the snack be that takes him down?
Oh, yeah. What would your snack that took you out be?
Makes me exhausted? Oh man, cheesesteaks aren't a snack. I guess anything's a snack if you're brave enough to take care, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, cheesesteak's my snack. I have a 7 foot long meatball sub for dinner. This is just a little morsel. Anything that's right. I love Pop Tarts, homemade Pop
I
Tarts.
think cheesesteaks are fun. Like you've got some Philly
Cheesesteak egg rolls.
What's a Philly dessert? Like what do they have in Texas? Those
What is it?
tchotchkes or whatever they're called.
Would be a good Philly dessert. I don't know. We don't have like
Batteries.
right. I think you can throw at Santa. So what would be a good man? Is there one that I'm not thinking of? Okay, the roast pork sandwich is a dessert. Is it? Okay, once again, it's all about your mentality. On a fried dough.
There you go. Nice heavy
Yeah.
Friday snack. We're doing cheesesteaks and fried dough. And they even set it up so that you get to sprinkle your own sugar on.
Okay, I like that. All right, so he eats this and he's kind of happy-ish, or I mean, who wouldn't be with fried dough and cheesesteaks in front of you? And then immediately it's like, oh, I kind of feel a little weird as he passes out, like sees just everybody in the office turn and look at him, and everything goes dark. And so he's out. He passes out, and let's say, so he's gonna wake up in the basement. Weird, and he's on like a gurney, so like you hear medical machines beeping. There's 2 test tubes of stuff, beakers bubbling, computers all over the place.
All of a sudden, the call center wasn't so bad.
Right, exactly. It's like, I'll make 100 calls, whatever I'm going to do. It's getting out of this freaking room with these blaring lights and this headache I have. And so he's definitely groggy and out of it, and kind of tries to sit up on this hospital bed that he's in, basically, and realizes he's kind of strapped down a little bit. And as all people do, like kind of starts having a little freak out, but no one's around. It's just him in this room with all these machines and these computers. And so I think he, maybe one of the straps is loose or whatever. He finds a way out, wiggles out, flips the table over. We can figure that out in the movie. And gets out of his whatever, his table, off the table, off the bed. And what I'm kind of seeing is like, maybe it's like, getting a horrible headache. He's dizzy. He's looking around. What the hell happened to me? The last thing I remember is we had the snack and we're all singing Kumbaya, and then bam, darkness. Gosh, that was a good cheesesteak, but what the hell? What did it cost me?
Splitting headache.
Right, splitting headache. And so as he's kind of stumbling around, maybe he comes to like a mirror or a window that's reflective enough, whatever, and sees that he's got like gauze around his head. He's like, oh my God, did I hurt myself? Am I in a hospital? Like, I do remember falling down.
Is one of the weird tech companies? Like, do they have
or they have a swing? Right, like Hogwarts. Am I in the best place I could possibly be right now?
I just pass out in front of everyone? I look like an idiot. I can't even make 100 calls.
Right, what's wrong with me? I'm a failure. Right, he's maybe a little down on himself to start out. Like, gosh, I've seen the inside of a horse's body before, and I passed out from a cheesesteak. Thought I was better than this.
I mean, the two aren't very far apart.
Depending where you go, you're right. Gotta be careful. And so not naming names. And
we'll go to Gino.
John said that, not me. And so you're right. So he's kind of, again, trying to figure what the hell's going on, sees the gauze on his head and like reaches for it. Reaches to his ear, like behind his head, where he can now kind of maybe notice as more of the pain behind his left ear, let's say, and takes the gauze off, looks behind his ear, and there's like a fresh scar there with stitches. And he's like, holy shit, like what the hell happened? What happened to me? I don't remember anything, or then pass it out. Where am I? And maybe he's even just like, nurse, like calling for help. Thinking maybe he is in a hospital. But he sees the computers there. And
BDE computer.
There we go. BDE everywhere, of course, all over the place. Just computers, BDE swinging around, and all the screensavers bouncing around. And he's like, "What the heck is this?" And he goes to a computer, and it's unlocked somehow. Let's have some fun with this. And it's just able to kind of see a few things about the program and the last batch and the plan, and kind of was able to quickly kind of piece together just in a couple of seconds, like, okay, there's some AI thing happening. There's a list of people's names. The word implant keeps showing up again and again. And this like a last batch statement, almost complete, is showing up in all these documents as well. Or this maybe it's like a thread he even finds on this computer of someone typing to the computer, talking to someone else, it looks like. And he's like, what, this is fucking crazy. And then he's kind of realized, like, this isn't a hospital, like they wouldn't say BD all over the place. I'm still in the friggin' building somewhere, but no one knows. I must be downstairs. What am I gonna do? And so he hears maybe some people in the hall finally, and he decides, okay, they expected me to be strapped in and asleep. I'm just gonna jump back in, lay down, cover the blanket, cover myself with a blanket on my little gurney, movable bed thing, and see what happens next. Like, I'll just play dumb, play dead.
Unfamiliar,
right?
Like, it's not his boss, but he rolls. We gotta go check on the kid. We gotta go check on the new kid.
Right.
Make sure everything went okay.
That's right.
You should still be asleep.
Still be
like watching.
We'll check. You never know.
What you do? I mean, I think I would do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Go back and play dead.
Play dead. See what happens. Your worst case scenario. Maybe he grabs like
when you're laying in bed and you hear the kid crying, you're like, I'll continue to pretend I'm sleeping.
Right. Eventually, someone else will solve this problem. Right. So he's laying there, and maybe so now he's able to hear this big conversation between like a guard and like someone that's in like a lab coat pushing him upstairs or somewhere.
Right. I like this as a mechanic for him to get a little, like, he can kind of learn a little bit about what's happening here.
Exactly. So he's able to kind of eavesdrop as I think he's passed out on what's going on, and it's all about like yeah, we're almost done. In fact, I think he's the last one, and Eric's like, the last one, what? In his head, of course, and maybe even like to confirm his suspicions that what he saw on the computer, he is like, the guard like bumps into his gurney and he's got a taser on his belt, the guard does, and a scientist guy in lab coat's like, whoa, like, easy with that. If you bump your taser and that thing goes off, this whole gurney's metal, it's gonna zap him, it's gonna zap the implant. Like, I don't explain that to anybody, to you. Like, you should know better. Like, that's the whole point of this whole thing. We shouldn't be making mistakes anymore. It says that too. And Eric's like, the whole thing, making mistakes, what's going on? The taser, implant. He's like trying not to have a fucking full-on meltdown panic attack as he's kind of realizing, like, something's in my brain, something probably, or my head at least. Who are these people? Where am I? Yada yada. And he's gonna, so at some point, gosh, so I guess where are they pushing him? Like, well, I guess their plan is to kind of get him back upstairs, get him kind of ready to,
I
probably come back, like wake up and go about his life.
So we've been introduced to like the nefarious part of BDE. Typically we don't have guards with tasers walking around,
right?
Or typically,
right?
Unless someone's getting fired. So yeah, the guard's like, all right, we're gonna wheel him up to the rec room. Put him on the couch in there, and then we'll just, we'll spiel about how apparently cheesesteaks were too much for you. You gave us all a little scare there, Erik,
right.
But glad to see you. We'll get Charlie or someone to give him the spiel. So the guard's like, all right, as long as everything went okay, he's got the implant, we're gonna move him upstairs, and they wheel him upstairs, and but he knows what's going on. We all get to hear this conversation,
right.
And I think that little egg you planted, no one plants eggs. that little
Easter about it does.
That little seed you planted is enough where he's gonna want to get his hands on that taser.
Yeah.
The guard thinks he's passed out. As the guard's dropping him off onto the couch, I think it's conceivable that he can reach and like just sleight of hand grab that taser, roll into the couch, and hide it with him a little bit. So all he knows right now is that effectively they drugged him, they put a chip, an AI chip, into his head. He hasn't gotten much intel about it. He's not even supposed to know this. He knows they're trying to kind of pull the wool over his eyes, put him up in there, and give him a story. So I think he can grab the taser, so he's got like a sort of a backup plan.
Right, I like
and
that.
Then moments later, his boss or his work friend is showing up with that whole story. So now we know that guy's in on it too.
Right, and how deep does this go? And I think maybe one of the things he can overhear as well as he's got to be wheeled back up to the rec room is like, you know the deal. We got to kind of play this story out for at least an hour of the AI boot up and kind of assimilate into his brain. After that, I mean, he's the last one. Like, this is it. We've done it. But we just got to get through this next hour of him, not knowing anything, and then the AI will be in the driver's seat. And so he knows that too. So he's got like a clock ticking in his brain. I've got an hour of time before who knows really what happens, but I need this taser. And so we could, and we have kind of a choice to make. He could kind of just stand up and play along. Oh yeah, I don't feel good. I think I'm gonna go home the rest of the day and like try to leave, which isn't an unrealistic reaction.
But here at BDE, the response to that is like, actually, based on what you went through, we really want to keep you here. You don't have to do 50 more calls. You only have to do 40.
Right. We'll take it easy on him.
But we really want to keep you here. Just make sure you're safe before, and we can get someone to drive you home, even if you want.
Right.
But in his mind, he's like, I need to freaking electrocute myself.
Right.
Quick.
Right. Exactly.
He's like, all right, cool. You know what? I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'll come with you. Make sure you're okay.
Yeah,
I've been doing this for 22 years. I think I'll be okay. I'll go with you. So he's like, shh. And then he's like in the bathroom, and he's got to be like, yeah, it's actually going to be number 2, so it can be a while. Don't worry about it. I'll let you know what calls you got coming up.
Right.
I'll just review them with you while you're in there.
Right.
Just 2 guys. Don't worry about it. So he's like trying to taste himself while getting it away.
So he's in the bathroom. This is perfect. He's in the stall, supposedly having a huge dump, but he's just. And the guy's like, wow, really a big one in there.
22.
That's right. That's rough for you. You need more fiber in your diet. I started a scoop a day a couple of years ago. Best thing I ever done. He was yammering about fiber. He's in there tasing himself out the toilet. His little zap noises, little electric,
trying to like. You okay in there? Yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm fine. Are you throwing up as well? That's been a heck of a fall. No,
almost done.
Hey, right. And so he's right, buying himself time, trying to, disable this implant. So eventually he's got to escape this place. I mean, he's got to kind of figure out like, they're not going to let me leave, but I don't want to be here. They're going to figure out eventually that my thing hasn't turned on. If tasing myself is actually working, which I hope it is, I got to roll. So he's got to escape this building. He's got to go, and he could do it by fighting his way out and just tasing a couple people. He can just tase 2 or 3 people and sneak out the back. Maybe those 3 women are always intercepting him. He can't go into some meeting he's not supposed to be in. They try to do that, and he's finally like, you know what? You guys deserve this. Bam, 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 zap, zap, zap. And they drop. But in his mind, he's like, I got to get out of here, and I got to get help. Like this company has been taken over by a bunch of crazy people. I got to warn the town. I got to tell the cops. I got to tell the mayor. Like, I need help. We need to come back and arrest all these people today, and I can be a hero before dinner time. Like, maybe he's even optimistic.
And this is where some of these rules, like, he can't export everything onto a thumb drive. Right. You're not allowed to bring him in. You're not allowed to use your cell phone at work. So it's hard for him to like get the story, but he has a chip implanted in his head. So that's probably
a little bit of evidence. Yeah.
That's enough where I think a 22-year-old would be like, great, I'm going to go to the cops.
Yeah. Let's do that.
You're not supposed to tattle, but I think at this stage,
oh yeah, it's over.
He feels like I'm going to start with the cops. At least they're probably going to protect me.
Right. And they'll walk right out, arrest the CEO. They'll do an investigation. They'll get to be interviewed by the local paper. So he goes to the police station and starts asking for help. And maybe like, as he shows up, they all kind of look at him, and he's like, "All right, hi guys, like slow day, like what are we? Why are y'all all of a sudden here for me? Like, that's a little weird." And walks up to the front desk and is like, "I'd like to report a crime." And like all the police officers in the station walk over and are like standing behind the desk looking at him, and he's like, "You guys got traffic tickets to write, or something else going on today?" And starts to explain, like, "I work at BDE. I'm sure you guys know it. Like, something happened. I was in a basement. I passed out from too many cheesesteaks, they said, but I woke up. There's cuts on my head. I think they put an implant in me. They got to arrest him right now." And they'll kind of stare at him quietly for a moment, and then like almost in unison, kind of maybe answer the same way, or like, "Oh, relax, Erik. Everything's
Cops are
fine."
infected,
Right.
too.
And Erik's like, "I didn't say my name was Erik. How do you know that? Like, town's not that small." Maybe it is, but yeah. And so it like he gets this like a glimpse, maybe like in the reflection of a window or whatever, as a cop comes closer to him. Like, he also has a scar behind his ear. And Erik's like, "Oh shit, like they got the cops too." So now he's like, "Oh man, they got my office building and the cops. That's a wild coincidence. I'll go to the hospital, try to get this thing out of me, then go to the mayor because I'm
Like,
I'm tired of tasting myself."
like if I can get this out, it'll be better, because he set a serial alarm to go off
Got it.
every 45 minutes or so. He's
Perfect.
like, his alarm starts going off. He's like, "You know what? You're right. It was probably the cheesesteak.
Right.
My
My
mistake.
bad.
I'm still new there. I don't know
fine."
what's going on. I feel better now."
Right.
And just like has to dip as soon as possible because he's gonna run outside and tase himself.
Right. So he does that, tases himself in the parking lot of the police station, and then runs to the hospital. And similar situation, tries to check himself in. "Yeah, I just have like a thing in my head I need removed." And the nurses kind of perk up, and I'll look at him, and he's like, "Are you kidding me here
Yeah.
too?"
It was similar, like all eyes
Right.
open up, and like
Right.
so
I'll stare at him.
it becomes easy for the audience to see the police are infected is the first time we get a hint, and then when it happens at the hospital, it's very clear, like, oh my god, how deep does this go? How long am I going to be
Exactly.
tasing myself?
And this could be a fun. This could be a fun scene of him like running through the hospital, tasing himself to keep them tasing nurses that are trying to tackle him. And through this chase scene, I think he ends up in like a supply closet with uh with a someone who's going to help him
We're
out.
going to introduce a friend.
Yeah, he needs help at this point. Like he's been drugged, he's been implanted with an AI thing, the cops have been,
All roads are coming up.
the hospital's a dead end, right?
So I want to steal this idea from
Okay.
you.
Okay.
It's a sexy nun. No. But it's so I don't know how we got here. It's not someone from the town. It's a traveling,
Okay, yeah,
nurse.
exactly. Perfect. That makes sense.
But not nurse, because that's, I don't know. It's just less fun.
Right. And why would they be in there? It could be, how about let's have some fun here. Traveling dentist, dental assistant, dental hygienist. Like, let's have dentists.
Beautiful. Beautiful. A little homage to
Everyone's
the
overlooking
Django
them.
Unchained.
Right. Okay.
It's a
Perfect.
traveling dentist. He bumps into this girl, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. What are you looking for?" He's like, "Oh my god! Like everybody's trying to get me.
Right.
This whole town's infected."
Right.
She's like, "Oh, slow down. She's thinking he escaped from like
mental
ward. And
Well, you need to be.
he's like, I need to look behind your ear." And she's like, "We just met."
Right. That's a
So
very
he's like,
deep
"Look,
thing.
I'm sorry about this." He just kind of reaches and he grabs and he looks behind her ear. No scar.
Ooh,
Okay,
all right.
great. We need to get out of here. Trust me. She's like, "I need to get supplies.
Right.
I'm a traveling dentist." So my father's a traveling dentist.
Okay.
Assistant.
Got it.
He hates when I tell people this, but we just came to America.
Oh, right.
He's
There you go.
gonna be Russian.
Yes. Love
Who
it.
better to battle big state than
Yes.
Russian?
I love it. Okay. Perfect.
He's like, "Great, we need to go talk to your father. I'll explain more, but you need to help me get out of here."
Right.
And
I love that.
so she throws him on. This is every Hollywood movie knows this is how you escape.
Right.
She throws him on her cart, puts the little like hospital blanket over there, fills it up with
Perfect.
supplies. I guess you can buy supplies from a hospital if you're a traveling dentist.
Yeah.
Laughing gas mainly, some Novocaine.
Right. Nothing crazy.
A couple of pills for her dad.
My bad back.
And out the door she goes. So he gets a successful escape. And maybe she's normal, but the dad, the traveling dentist,
yes,
he's straight from Russia.
All right. Do you have a name for him yet?
As a Russian male traveling dentist, his name has to be Yuri.
Yuri.
Maybe Alexei, but I'm pretty sure it's Yuri. We're just gonna lean into this.
All right, I love that. So she helps him escape, takes to dad, and they have, I'm seeing like a Winnebago with like a goofy, creepy dentist set up in the back of the chair.
Dental bago.
With dental bago. Just driving from town to town, doing root canals. My license, I can't fucking.
No, this is why I'm Russian, Erik. Yeah, Yuri's new to America.
Yes,
but he doesn't want to admit that. In my country where in our country where I was training for dentists, so he's against the insurance companies.
Okay.
That's why he's a traveling dentist. Everything
in his own way.
I do everything you need for teeth. $100, no insurance. You pay me $100, I do for you.
Right. And what if he loves American westerns and Wyatt Earp, and he's like, I travel town to town, taking the root canals for the low price. So he's like, thinks he's a hero. He sees himself as like a bit of a hero or whatever.
Yes.
Like,
even with your health insurances, you pay more. This is ridiculous.
Right.
In Russia, you pay nothing for dental.
Right. We have no Novocaine, but still you pay nothing. So much drugs in this country. Right. So yeah. So that's the vibe we're getting. And Yuri is obviously quite the character out of the gate. And so and Erik like meets him and is like, I'm gonna have to convince this guy that I was captured, knocked out, had an implant put in my head to use to mind control me for some nefarious thing I don't know about yet. And so he starts explaining this, expecting Yuri not to believe him. And he's like, yes, of course. We do this. We do this in Russia.
I hear in Russia this happens to people sometimes. I am not from Russia. I'm from this country.
Right.
But what I've heard in Russia, this is common.
Yeah.
So Yuri's an easy ally. He adds a bit of brevity to the situation.
Yes.
My daughter Svetlana is 100% American. She is from here her whole life. I promise you this.
Yep.
Even she speak like American, here for her voice. We will. Does he volunteer to help? He's like, I can remove implant for part of my dentist surgery.
Right. I think absolutely. Like, I think he couldn't have run into two better people than a traveling Russian dentist who maybe was also like a medic for Russia and some war
if he never from Russia.
Right, sure, we're never actually in, and something like that. And so yeah, I think
there's probably a little like,
right.
I don't know if I want you doing surgery.
Right. But and Svetlana's like, don't worry, like everything is fine. I went to school here, or like everything's great. I know my dad's a character, but we'll take great care of you. And also, like, do you want to keep tasing yourself every 25 minutes?
Yeah, like as this is going on, he has to tase himself.
He's like, interesting.
What for you do this? I have to keep tasing myself, so the AI will take over.
Take over my body and my brain.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yes, of course.
I one time had a wife like this.
It's like an electric fence.
Great wife. We call her a banana whale.
Yeah, Yuri's seen a lot, clearly. We won't talk about much of it, but Erik at least stopped tasing himself, and which is probably giving him real brain damage, certainly nerve damage. And goes under, gets knocked out by Yuri. It's Svetlana. Do the surgery, gets the implant out, so now at least he can stop tasing himself every 20 minutes or whatever it is at that point. And so and now they're kind of like on the outskirts of town, or at least they're like under the radar, like all these. So now it's kind of clear if you zoom out a little bit, like the whole town is taken over by this AI. It seems like last batch that he kept hearing referred to and seeing referred to as Erik was trying to escape. Like, he was part of the last group of people in this town to get this implant put in him by BD.
Which makes sense. He was away at college.
Right.
He just came back on his job.
Perfect. So so now he's able to kind of take a breath, have some borscht or whatever food they have in the back of the Winnebago, get his calories back up, and start to form a plan. And maybe Yuri's kind of there helping him along, like, you must go on offensive. You cannot wait. You eat the borscht and then we go. What we do?
Yuri's already got it figured out. Right. No idea where he's going, what's happening.
Because he loves Wyatt Earp. He's like ready to go on this adventure. And I better go. Oh, it's every town. The crooked sheriff, the hero, cowboy. And so he's just living a Western in his head. And
in all of your heads, Yuri is definitely should be wearing a cowboy hat.
Yes. Huge mustache, cowboy hat. I love it. Oh, this is amazing. So, okay. So they try to formulate a bit of a plan. And so I think like an obvious, so right now in Erik's mind, it's like, all right, so BDE, the CEO that everyone looked up to, like, he's got to be behind all this, trying to mind control everybody for some reason. Maybe Yuri is able to shed light on that of like, you know, in Russia, we built supercomputer, no more human error, perfect country.
Yes.
Like, how did that work? Computer not good. No oil, no heat in the building. All scientists die. All right. Well, got it. So we've got that. We got the heat figured out here. So I guess we're running.
It was not there.
I did not help move the bodies. That was
very cold out here.
Oh, so
love it. All right. So Yuri's got a plan. He's familiar with this. The first target in this plan, the easy target in this plan, is we go talk to the CEO.
Yeah,
easy target, sort of.
Yeah.
In the movie, this would be like almost like a chase scene.
Yep, sneaking in. You got to avoid all these drone people that are kind of looking for him. Maybe he also puts a disguise on. I don't know. We can have fun with it. We're all wearing cowboy hats and mustaches, trying to here to talk, and they're all talking in a Russian accent. Get from Russia, the side of BDE.
Like, BDE Corp is running an experiment on this town.
Yeah,
they need a lot of subjects, like a language learning model. The more you get, the better.
Yes.
So they need a lot of people infected with this AI chip to reach their goal, which is high level. We're going to eliminate human error, create an efficient utopia by making everyone AI-driven decision makers.
Right.
Lose a little bit of individuality. It's kind of on par with what you'll see on the news today.
Right.
But so they all disguise themselves as Russian, Yuri included.
Russian
This will be very hard for Yuri to be 100% Russian. And they use that out of town disguise to break in and have a meeting with. And Svetlana's like, I have these news journalist things that I used once for a Halloween costume. She's like, we're going to pretend that we're a journalist out there. And every CEO wants to talk to a journalist and share their success stories. So
like that.
We're reporting from St. Petersburg Daily. We're going to interview this CEO.
Petersburg Daily. Yes, the tech capital of Russia. Okay, cool. So that kind of gets them in the door, and they bust in to talk to the CEO, and some back and forth happen, and obviously Erik's really frustrated, but maybe it becomes very clear very quickly talking to the CEO that, like, oh crap, like, hey, I got you too. Like, you're not behind this. He's able to look behind his ear too and see that he has a scar. And it's like, you're just patient zero. Like, maybe he like did it to the CEO, did it to himself. And that's in line with certain CEOs of like, I'll be the best, but I can't do it alone. AI can optimize me. I'll never make a mistake again.
And it did.
We'll take the company to the moon.
Built a huge successful company.
Exactly. But now he's like trapped, and maybe like as they're talking, like he's saying one thing and kind of acting happy, but like he's sweating and like tears are coming out of his face. And
Love that.
Eric's like, "Oh my god, like what's going on here?" And Yuri clues it right away and is like, "I know this. I know a smiling man that tries. This has a lot to hide." And like tackles him and holds him down, and as they see the scar behind his neck, like, "Oh my god, they got the CEO too. Like this is another dead end."
Tases him,
Right.
passes out.
There we go. Perfect.
Read through some notes about
Okay, there we go.
it worked so good for him, but people are inefficient.
Right.
As the AI has become more of his
Right.
personality,
Right.
now we need to fix people. If they can become as efficient as I am in machines,
Right.
then it's like
Makes
it's
a
his
perfect world.
twisted vision for how humanity evolves.
Right, exactly. And we haven't done this yet, but we could have like the AI also start talking to them itself. And maybe if at any moment that makes the most sense, it's this moment as the CEO's kind of passed out, and maybe like the Alexa in the wall starts talking, and it's like, "Oh, Eric, you finally found the dead end," or whatever, and does a little bit of monologuing and can give us that insight into like, poor Donnie boy, your CEO, like you thought he had all these great ideas, but they were mine. Like,
Yes.
and soon the town will be mine. You're just a bump in the road. Like,
My way is the future.
Exactly.
My word is the word of
right.
God.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Learned a lot about your humans and all the things you do poorly. You're so close to perfect. And I take you all the way there.
Totally. If it couldn't do this in Russia,
Right.
but here the power grid's medium good.
Right. So because we got heat in the buildings, we're all gonna lose our lives. But yeah, so he hears a little bit from the AI directly. Maybe we could weave that in. And so, but now he's like, okay, that's the final boss. Like the CEO, just another pawn. I gotta blow up. AI doesn't live like in a literal cloud. Like it's in a server somewhere. When I was in the basement, some of those machines look like servers. Like I'm just gonna sneak down there and destroy the servers. Like this AI isn't some invincible thing. It's just a program. Programs have to live somewhere. Boom, I've got this. And so he just kind of shifts his target. Now they're just thinking the little building though, and that could be all they're seeing. Cowboy hats back on. Yeah, St. Petersburg Press. Thank you. Good. Great. I love how much light inside the buildings here. No candles. How do you do it?
All this light after sun is down. America, my favorite country from my whole life.
Always lived here. Right, you're right, exactly. And so now they're making their way back into the basement.
Yeah, they are, and we don't have like they stole CEO Donnie's credentials. So
Okay,
yeah, we already interviewed him.
Right.
He just
Like
wanted
this.
us to look at the tech
Okay.
in the server room. He said.
Got it.
We're just going to beat it out. And I know this goes against some of the harsh rules of the tech environment, but again, we're journalists. If
Right.
we get anything we want when we're talking to a tech company.
Just what
So,
said.
go right downstairs, clean it up, make sure there's no
Bodies.
any new fresh implants down there. Make sure there's no random snacks down there.
Right, no snacks hanging out.
And so, and they get down there, like unbridled access
Yes.
to the
Perfect.
AI servers, and now he's standing there in front of the final boss, who's relatively defenseless. He's plugged into a wall.
Right, he's just stuck there, no guards, because they really all kind of thought they won, except for this one loose end that, like, maybe the AI is like probability says like he will sniff himself out, or we'll get him eventually. Maybe not even trying to hunt him that hard.
Humans are born of
At that point, like exactly, he will make a mistake, he will fail. We need nothing. And
yes, AI with hubris,
right? Yeah, that's it. And so he's got the taser, and he's like standing in front of the server, like ready to zap it or unplug it or both, just to make sure. And it either like dawns on him, or Svetlana maybe speaks up and is like, like as he's reaching, what do you got?
He remembers. So as every call center onboarding, you go through your script and your training. And on his sales calls, they would ask all the time, like, what happens in a power outage? What if we lose your AI connection? Like, oh, don't worry, it's built in. If you lose connection with the AI, the system just sits in standby mode. And like that maybe that's what flashes before him, where he's like, shit, if I zap these AIs, is everyone in this town just going to get locked in standby mode forever and like just be a human shell?
Yeah, zombie, right? Well, he essentially turned everyone in this town into a vegetable, and then who wins? He's just killed everyone in his hometown, all his friends, his parents, all that stuff.
Did you really save anyone?
Right, you saved no one. Now you're stuck with Svetlana and her weird dad and their tiny Winnebago forever because you can't have a job now. You're just killed the whole town.
Your job is moving the decomposing bodies into the BD factory.
Yeah. So he doesn't vocalize all that, but clearly he's worried that if he zaps the server, unplugs it, it'll backfire. It'll destroy the town he loves and everyone in it. And maybe the AI shows up at the speakers and like, ha ha ha, I thought I almost had you, but nope, you've been in checkmate since you got up this morning. Like, I have you right where I want you. You can't destroy me. I'm in control. Like, lay back down. We'll get you back into the system. Maybe at that point the guards do show up and they have to do some tasing and some laughing gassing of people. Or he just has a laughing gas with a mask that he's throwing up people's faces. So they escape. And he retreat to the cool, kind of creepy Winnebago that's hidden well somewhere in town, and has kind of become their base. But okay, so they're just like lost again and again and again. So this is that point in so many stories where our hero Erik is like, okay, cops are taking over, hospitals taking over, my family's a zombie, an AI zombie. I tried to go to the CEO, that failed. Tried to destroy the servers, I can't. That may kill everybody. Like, what the hell do I do? And all is lost, and he's kind of wallowing a bit, and just wants to drink some laughing gas and
vodka, Yuri.
Right? Of course,
yeah, vodka in America.
American vodka.
What? I mean, vodka. Smirnoff, damn it! It is all Russian. But so he's down on his luck, and maybe Svetlana's like the optimist. She's like, I mean, we'll find a way. Yuri, I think, is pissed at him though.
Okay.
Yuri's like, you had him right there in front of you. Why do you not? Sometimes blood must be spilled for American freedom to survive. Right. So Yuri's kind of, and he's letting him know, like, no matter what, you're gonna fail. All the BD's gonna succeed. You're gonna be living here in a town full of zombies that don't care about anything. They're all just AI people.
Yeah. You got to do something. It was, no, we can go into the next town. This is your town. What do you? How do you save it?
Especially because I can't edit that to sound more like your proper Russian. Right? But so they've got a way out. They're kind of connected to Erik. Erik sort of dropped the ball, according to Yuri.
Right.
Yuri's painting the picture of like what could happen.
Yes.
Because he didn't act. And he's like, I think he just makes him an offer. He's like, ultimately, you kind of have to come with us. They're going to hunt you down. They're going to chip you.
Right.
They've probably already chipped everyone in your family.
Right.
I guess you're a hero for not killing them. All they're just AI robots now.
Right.
He's like, you either come with me and Svetlana and we get out of here, or you live in this town and you end up hunting for your own food.
Right.
And you're 22, you're American, you can't hunt.
Right.
So he's like, I mean, I can show you how to trap food. I can show you how to make a rat trap. Plenty of rats around here. And that
plenty rats.
There would be.
Right.
Feasting off the leftover food that your AI people don't have to eat. Right. You're just kind of making this up, but he's also you believe him because he's Russian.
Sure.
Not Russian.
Got some knowledge there.
And so Yuri goes on to explain, he's like, for you, best chance survive, you make rat trap. For Yuri, I explain you rat trap only need good rat bait. You have one bit of exciting rat cheese, and you don't need trap. They come to you like you are.
Like all the bucket.
Play rat trap. Calling the rats for you to eat for dinner, and you be the man who lives on rats.
Yes.
You should come with Svetlana and me. We teach you to be dentists, and now we all make more dentist money. And Yuri gets vodka. So Yuri's like going on explaining what his future is going to look like.
Right, not too worried.
But in the rat trap analogy, I want that to be our vehicle to get to the next point in his journey.
Yes. Sure. I mean, I think you can inspire. So that could be a light bulb moment for Erik where he's like, trap, bait, like, oh my gosh, of course. Like we've been going about this all wrong. Like we can't take out the head of this thing. Like AI by definition is kind of, it's already everywhere. So, but all we gotta do is trap them. So what do you need for a trap? Something the thing you're trying to trap loves. What do AIs love more than everything? And they kind of rattle off some bad examples. Computers, the computer lady. Like, no, you're not. I don't think you understand what AI is. like maybe you're close. And so, and it could be Svetlana comes up with like, all I ever do is ask, the AI how to make a better cheesecake, and that's all I've ever used it for. So I'm no help. And Erik's like, that's it. Like that's all we've ever done. All humans have done with AI is ask it questions, ask it how to make a better cheesecake. How do I lose 20 pounds, even though I'm eating all this great cheesecake?
Why my popsicles keep melting? Right. Put them in the freezer.
Exactly right. Why is my car overheating? You're putting gasoline in the radiator.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great if you're an idiot. But the point is, he's kind of come to that realization of like, since AI has existed, all its first love, all it's done is answered humans' questions. So maybe that, if we can have a place where, and this is kind of Erik's plan now, of like, I'll get on a loudspeaker and I'll just start talking out questions. We'll go to the park or some central place in town that's big enough, and I'll just start asking questions out loud, and the AI human hybrids won't be able to resist going to that park.
Harry, do you have a loudspeaker on this dental bagel? Of course, it is marketing 101.
Every town I yell, dentist here. Bring me your bad teeth. Pop, pop. No one come. What? But so that's the plan. Is they're gonna get on the loudspeaker, get on the loudspeaker, get in the park, and so but that's not the whole plan. So part of this too is that rare snack. They're gonna have to make something because Erik's kind of hoping we'll get them in the park, and we're gonna drug all these mofos, and we're gonna have to deal with the AI the old-fashioned way, get a little bit dirty, get our hands dirty,
yes,
and rip these implants out. But let's knock them all out first. So like that's their plan. And Yuri maybe suggests some Russian food they can make, but his mother made him know he's from New Jersey or Kansas or wherever he's pretending to be.
I one time watched a movie about Russia. Eat a lot of borscht.
Okay, perfect.
What's borscht, Yuri? I don't know. I prefer cheeseburger.
All right, perfect. So they make a bunch of borscht or some cool Russian meal food, and that's what they're doing. So they're just in the park, and Erik's on the loudspeaker, just like 12. What are the 12 best movies from 1984? How heavy is a Winnebago VW Bug, or about how fat is the fattest man alive? Like just yelling stupid questions out. What are Bill Murray's 10 biggest fears? And you see like all the AI people in town pop up from their whatever they're doing, standing around being AI robots, and start walking towards the park, like whispering, like out loud, saying the answers to these questions, almost like a compulsory. They can't resist trying to like list off the the easiest way to lose weight is to number 1 start exercising small with a boom
in unison. This crowd of whisperings, right? In 1984, the top movie.
Exactly right. By box office or by rating, right? And they just start breaking down all these questions into really, really long answers that are nicely organized, but way too long, and start drifting towards the park. And when they get there, there's like pots of borscht, buckets, bowls, whatever. I don't know how you serve. Cauldrons of
borscht.
Right.
It's the only vehicle to serve it in.
And so once enough of them get there and they keep asking the question, then Erik has like the ultimate question of like, is this borscht in front of you the best borscht you've ever had?
Nice. I was wondering how he was going to get him to eat the borscht.
And so obviously, until like, right, we didn't say this, so like Yuri's throwing all the drugs they can find in the hospital of this borscht to knock all these people out. So they start eating and immediately start giving their reviews. And when you finish the bowl completely, please submit your review. Erik goes back at the loudspeaker to make sure that they drink the cauldrons dry.
They have to follow these rules,
right? Exactly. Yeah. Again, it's like their programming is like a human asks a question, we answer the question. It means eating an ungodly amount of borscht. So this whole town is inhaling beet soup, and they all start to drop down one by one. They're passing out, and so then what follows is easily the most ridiculous scene of the movie, maybe over the top gross. We'll see how we end up doing it or whatever. But let your imagination take this whichever way you want. But now what their plan is for Yuri and Svetlana and Erik to all go person by person and like quick lobotomize, like get in there, they're passed out, rip out this implant, sew them back up, and free them from all the AIs. They do it, and they give cool music, give them some slow mo, maybe or cartwheeling in between people,
like a watchtower,
right? Just kind of however they can, just jumping on someone, getting in there with a knife quickly, or a power drill, or whatever's the fastest way to do it, and doing really sloppy, ridiculous surgery as people are bloated, full of borscht. Everything smells like old beets. But Erik and Svetlana and Yuri are powering through it, and they do it. These people had a ton of drugs.
Maybe one or two people are a little different.
They do it.
I mean, you got Yuri, you got Svetlana
on the power drill there,
dental assistant, and new kid who went to a little bit of vet school,
right? So he should be okay.
He's like, kind of, he knows when they say like left side,
right? He knows here, take out computer looking thing.
But so tricks AI into amassing.
Yes.
The police, everybody we see shows up, mumbling answers to these questions. Tricks them into eating the borscht. They pass out. You go hands-on with AI. You don't beat the server. Right. You don't get the AI to cop. You have to go hands-on and manually take these chips out. It's the only way. It's like what Terminator would have been if we'd got there a little earlier.
Right.
And so now we've got a field of borscht people recently desurgery to remove a brain chip.
Yep.
Who knows what the implications are to that? But the chip's not connected to their brain anymore, so the AI has no way of communicating with them.
Yep.
It's just stuck in a server box now.
Stuck in its own horrible universe, fully optimized to do nothing with all the people in this town. They wake up with headaches and they all have no memory or whatever, and he's reunited with his parents, and
everything smells like vodka.
But everything,
man, Yuri, this dental guy is great.
Right. And life kind of returns to normal in their quiet little town. And I think that could be a fun kind of, epilogue to the movie of Erik and Svetlana start making out in the borscht field. And so they're a thing now. And they open up like a dentist office for animals, if that's a thing, a vet dentist.
Oh, for sure. I've paid a significant amount.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, same. Right.
And so that's a way for Erik and Svetlana to start their own. But they go brick and mortar. They go old school.
They're going old school, trying to little technology as possible. So now Erik was in the beginning afraid of being a vet was too old school, and he missed on all this fun tech shit. And now he's like, well, I've seen where that road goes.
Yeah. I was right the first time.
Exactly right. I'll take my scalpel and my paper planner over whatever some computer is going to use to schedule appointments any day.
Yuri lives in his Winnebago.
Right, out back.
Still trying to undercut them. I will do dog teeth cleaning for free.
Right.
Stop doing this, Dad.
What are you doing? It's competition. Good for you.
And it was a nice, so that's a good bow on the story. In a beer me that movie fashion. I think you got a call, you make your appointments, someone shows up, hey, I'm new to town, I just hoping you could clean my dog's teeth, he's old. Yeah, sure. Set him up on the table. Oh, we getting a little scuffle here, he's got a little cut. Right? Oh, no, we got him chipped from and as they're talking, their voice just kind of fades to quiet. Ooh. And Erik sees the collar says BDE on it. It's like BDE. They're like, yeah, best dog ever. No, it's a new company.
Right. I like that.
Big Perfect. Dog Enterprise. No dog Enterprise. We get to see where the dog is all the time.
Right. I love it. And so BD is there. And really, and then you could do that kind of classic zoom out where Erik and look at each other and they're kind of like, oh shit, and they zoom out to you get to town, you see a telephone pole with a 5G thing up there that says BD on it, and you zoom out again to see satellites with BD and planes with BD, and see the whole country kind of blinking with these green little BD lights all over the place, and their little hamlet, their little bay town, it doesn't have a green light on it yet, but it's surrounded by all these other little towns, and all they've done basically is bought themselves a couple weeks or months. AI is coming, and you'll have no freedom, but at least for a little bit you get to do things the way you want. But I think that'd be a fun little nugget of you've really escaped nothing. You're shooting BBs at a freight train. So good for you guys, but you may have to be on the road with Svetlana's dad forever if you want to keep your brain your own.
Is this feature presentation a message about AI? No, not at all. It's really just to encourage immigrants to feel American when they get here, which I think the story of Yuri tells that through and through.
That's right.
So hopefully as we wrap up this feature, you're not wondering about breasts on a duck.
You probably still are. I'll never stop thinking about it now.
Until what do we got next week? Coming up, new Fast Five. So make sure to subscribe if you're not already, so you see what movies we've got coming down the Untapped check-in list next week.
That's it. But until then, peace,
punch, give me your lunch.
Huzzah! That's right.
I was trying to think of something Yuri would have said.
Oh, right. Give me more borscht. More vodka, less beets. I don't know what borscht is. In my mind, it's just pickled beets.
I think it's just beets with soup energy.
Soup energy. Oh, whew.